Hey everyone, what is cooking? Welcome to the first actual video on this channel. We are today reacting to the Reddit page, Am I Overreacting? So let's see if these guys are actually overreacting. All right, first up, was this an overreaction about me ordering DoorDash while babysitting? Great, we are taking the 10:30 train, so we should be home at 11:30. Sorry, thought we would be done sooner. Okay, no problem, see you at 11:30. Hey, our ring just showed someone at the door. Was something delivered? Yes, I didn't eat dinner, so I ordered DoorDash before. Oh no, I didn't eat dinner, so I ordered DoorDash. That seems reasonable. Okay, we'll talk when we get home, but I'm really concerned that you would do that without asking first. I would never be okay with a stranger coming to the door while my kids are sleeping. I really wish you had asked me before doing that. All right, this woman is absolutely insane. Who wouldn't order DoorDash? A stranger coming to the door. He's dropping the food off and then he's pissed off. Anyway, let's keep going. Come on. Please check to make sure the storm door is locked and the chain is locked as well since you opened them. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable. I just hadn't eaten since lunch and thought I'd be done by 8 like you mentioned. 8? So hold on, wait. She was going to be done by 8 and they're not taking the train till 10:30. 3.5 hours and then she didn't tell her. That is ridiculous. I started getting a headache and really needed to eat something. I've ordered food before while babysitting and it's never been a problem, so I didn't think it would be an issue. They left it at the door and I waited until they were gone before I went out to grab it and locked all the doors the way they were when I came back in. This is so unbelievably reasonable from this person. Let's see what the person's response was. I get that you were hungry, but it's more about the fact that someone came to the door without my knowledge and you left them in the house alone while you grabbed it. Oh, I assume she means left the kids in the house alone. But the kids would be asleep, like in their bedrooms. Oh, this is ridiculous. If something had happened, it just makes me really nervous. You could have eaten from the cabinet. This is my home and my kids, and I need to be able to fully trust who's here. We will talk later. Just please double check the doors. Will do. I do apologize, but I honestly didn't think it would be a problem. I'm always hyper aware of safety and would never do anything that I felt put the kids in my care at risk. I have to see the comments to this because this woman that this person is working for is absolutely diabolical. I'm assuming it's a woman. It might not be, but this sounds something like an overprotected mother would do rather than, yeah. Let's just see. Anyway, let's see these reactions. Oh, hold on. There's more context here as well. I ordered DoorDash while babysitting because I hadn't eaten since lunch and was getting a headache and they were 2 hours late. The kids were asleep, the food was left on the porch and I stepped outside for 10 seconds to grab it. I told you it was a mum, I knew it. The mum told me she was uncomfortable that someone came to the door and that I left the kids alone. When I got home, I was told they can't trust me anymore and I was fired. She got fired for that! She ordered DoorDash! What the hell? Mind you, this is someone who found me on Facebook, barely asked me anything before hiring me and had no issue leaving her 2 kids under 2 with a total stranger, but a food delivery on the porch is somehow a big deal. This is diabolical scenes. Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. She found her on Facebook, barely asked her anything before hiring, and had no issue leaving her 2 kids under the age of 2 with a complete stranger. That is way more of like a misdemeanor than the babysitter ordering DoorDash to the house. I cannot believe this. So she was left on her own with the kids for an extra like 3 hours, ordered DoorDash, which is completely reasonable, and then the mother goes off at her because she ordered the DoorDash and left her kids alone. The kids would have been asleep. This is outrageous. Let's see what other people are saying. One time I babysat for people who found out that I went downstairs after putting their kid to sleep upstairs, and they not only fired me, but talked shit about me to other clients, and I lost a couple jobs because of it. I did not understand. I had a baby cam. Why would I need to be on the same floor as them? Completely reasonable. I now have my own kids and can't believe I went through that. I definitely put my kids to bed on other floors in my house and go about my business. People are nuts. People are nuts. Do you know that? Now, I obviously don't have children, but if I did and the babysitter ordered like DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever, I would be so unbelievably okay with that. It's ridiculous. Are people really this nuts when they have kids? I don't understand. Oh, this person has an award. Not overreacting, and your response should have been, hi Gertrude. Oh, that's such a classical name. It probably is like a Gertrude or like a Cynthia or something. Apologies to all the Cynthias out there. While I fully understand this is your home, this is also my place of employment, and as such, it needs to be treated with professionalism and industry standards the same way you would any other place of employment. Ordering food while on duty over dinner hours is standard practice and to be expected. Many nannies not only order food but require their employer to reimburse them for it. That's a good point. What is not standard practice nor acceptable is being several hours late without any notice. This is what I was saying. I was kind enough to accept this gracefully in order to avoid additional stress. However, your latest response is making me reconsider extending you this grace. I was looking forward to eating dinner at my own place. However, due to your failure, I was left no choice but to order food. The items in the pantry were not sufficient for a full meal. Let's make checkout as smooth and quick as possible. Due to the delay, I will not have time for a chat tonight unless compensated at my overtime rate. That would be so unbelievably perfect to write. Obviously, when you're in the moment, you're never going to actually be able to come up with something like that. But this guy knows, and any babysitter should save this message right here and use it for future, because this is perfect. All right, next one. Am I overreacting? I dog walked/slapped for 2 years for this to happen. Hey, my job gives out the schedule just a few days in advance, but I'm going to be working Saturday and Sunday. Just wanted to let you know. With respect, you committed to dog sit. Oh God, this person's going to be crazy. You can just tell. I know, but I just started working there and they wouldn't approve the time off and I only just found out. I can still feed them and walk them and hang out with them though. That seems reasonable enough. Hi Hannah, what hours are you working both days? Well, given the amount we're paying you every month, you have two choices. We're paying way more than the job is worth. If you can't do it, I'll find someone who can. This weekend was important to me. This person seems so unbelievably entitled, but let's see what Hannah has to say for herself. I'm sorry, I didn't find out that I was working this weekend until today. I have been flexible for you every week for the last 2 years and have put walking your dogs before anything else. While what you pay me is generous, it is not a livable wage on its own and I need another job in order to survive. I'm sorry this didn't work out. I've had a great time walking your dogs and I wish you luck in finding someone to replace me. Okay, so she's quit walking the dogs, which I think is fair because this person sounds like a psychopath. Claire, oh, this is a group chat. That makes more sense. So Claire responded first, and then Jeff asked what hours she was working, and then Claire went off. Okay, so Claire said, we're paying way more than the job is worth. I assume that means the dog sitting job, not than what her actual job that she's going to do as work is worth. Does that make sense? I think so. Let's check out what some other people are saying, because I personally, I think that this is so ridiculous. Like, dog sitting, right? So let's assume that they're indoor dogs and that they need someone to be there with the dogs 24/7, which they absolutely do not, by the way. But this weekend was important to me. So she's probably going away. So my guess would be that this Hannah is dog sitting, like staying at the house maybe, and looking after the dogs like that. But even if that's the case, like she could look after the dogs, like go check on the dogs, feed them, whatever, go and do her work, go back afterwards, walk the dogs. It's literally no big deal. The dogs will be absolutely fine. This Claire person seems like a nut job. Oh, there's more context as well. I really need to check this context first, probably, before I read everything. After 2 years of loyal service while in school, I thought I had the perfect gig. $400 a week. $400 a week to walk 2 German Shepherds and occasionally house sit for an older married couple. They wanted the dogs walked between 5 to 7 a.m. at least 3 days a week. In the last couple of months, they randomly would request more days or immediate service, which I accommodated as it was early enough to not be an issue. Recently, I stayed at their house for 16 days straight with the dogs because the money was good. They asked me to stay again this weekend over a month ago, but I just started a new job, which I worked hard to get, and this was their response to not being flexible. I never said I couldn't do it. I just said I also had work the same day, so I wouldn't be there 24/7, but could still do the job, and this was the wife's response. I'm lost and baffled that after so much dedication and loyalty, I was met with this response. So please analyze and let me know if I'm the a-hole. All right, she is not the a-hole. I'm also going to say Jeff is not an asshole here, because Jeff seems like a good lad. He was asking what hours you work and you can probably still dog sit, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Claire is no, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say bitch, all right? But she is. I'm going to say it. Claire is acting like a bitch here. Mysterious Repeat says, judging by the husband's text, I bet he didn't appreciate her responding to you that way. Couldn't say 100% though. 100% agree, Mysterious Repeat. My guy, go off king. The husband was going to be a reasonable guy, I bet. He was going to say like, yeah, man, you can walk the dogs in the morning, you can go to work, you can come back and house sit while we're gone, everything's all good. And then his wife, I tell you what, Jeff needs to take a look at himself because I reckon he can do better than this Claire woman. You did a bad job communicating that you could still walk the dogs. They gave you a month's notice so you easily could have told your job you have other obligations those days. If a job can't accommodate your schedule with a month's notice, that's not a company you want to work for. 400 a week to walk dogs is insane. Okay, 400 a week to walk dogs is insane, right? But in saying that, she said she recently got the job. So obviously once you start a new job, it's hard to get time off, isn't it? Like once you start, you want to put your best foot forward. You want to be like, yeah, I can do this, I can do this. You want to like oversell your worth essentially. And so although she could have probably said, I need to walk the dog, but even in saying that, she wants Claire and Jeff want the dogs to walk between 5 and 7 a.m. So like, unless she's opening at a cafe on a weekend, there's no way that she needs to be at work before like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So yeah, I would say that yes, she did a bad job communicating she can still walk the dogs, but Claire overreacted. Hannah is fine. Hannah should still be able to get her bag walking the dogs and get her bag at the work and be absolutely breaded up. All right, let's check out what else we've got here. Am I overreacting? Friend says he'd still vote for Trump despite everything, so I'm cutting him off. Okay. Now, I don't love to get into politics because I don't really care, but let's see what this is. Did you hang up? Are you okay? I will not be seeing you this Wednesday. Why? We are too different. I'm going to choose my peace instead of resentment. I guess I was only putting up with it because we were together, but now we aren't, and I wouldn't want a friend with views like yours. If your pride won't let you change your mind when you're objectively wrong, then that's between you and whoever's out there. And if you're too stupid to be in the cult, that's not anything I care to deal with. I'm doing this for myself. I hope you have a pleasant life. Jesus Christ. So this was her ex-boyfriend with whom she still has a great relationship, a great friendship with, and I was talking on the phone. He jokes about Trump trying to downplay the Epstein debacle and how guilty it's made him look. So I ask him, would you still vote for him? He replies, oh, 100%. I hung up immediately. For context, this election was a huge point of contempt and frankly a big reason why I couldn't do it anymore, including his spiraling and falling into the right-wing hole of content creators and spending all day on Twitter. Okay, now these two are obviously dating, and by the sounds of things, she broke up with him because of his political views, which I do not agree with in the slightest. I think if you're a couple and you have differing political views, you should be able to work it out together and look past that and have a good relationship. Now, the boyfriend fell into the far right wing and spent hours scrolling content creators and spending all day on Twitter. That is also not great by the boyfriend, if we're being honest. But in saying that, people like spend hours on Twitter or Instagram every day. What difference does it make if he's looking at right-wing politics or bloody Instagram, just shit reels with shitty actors, or pointless shit on TikTok? Like, what difference does it make to this person? Unless like the boyfriend was like ramming down his political views down her throat like 24/7, that would be a problem. But there is no context there. We can only go off what she's told us. So let's see what other people are saying. Why the fuck are you trying to be friends with your ex in the first place? Agreed. There is very, very, very few instances that you should remain friends with your ex once you've finished dating. And if you've broken up over politics, something like that, then I agree. Why are you still trying to be friends? Mind you, Wolfie Woof here has said, what the fuck are you on about? What's wrong with being friends with your ex? Or exes, for that matter. 2 of my best and closest friends are exes. One is my ex-husband. People can share a life together after a relationship ends. Hell, many formerly married couples have no choice but to stay in each other's lives due to shared children. Might as well still be friends and make the kids' lives better for it. Maybe don't judge people for something that doesn't impact you, else you are the clown. Wowsies. Big words from Wolfie Woof. Do I agree with that? I think if there's kids involved, potentially. But if you're like a boyfriend and girlfriend and, you know, you've only been dating for a year or 2 and you break up, I think that, like I said, there's very few instances that you should actually remain friends. If you were friends for ages beforehand, delved into dating, it didn't work and go back to friends, fair enough. But if you've met someone, dated for 2 years, break up, and then you're still friends with them, I think the only reason for that is you're looking for sex still with that individual, or you want to get back together with them in the future. I don't think there is any reason other than that why you would still want to be friends with them. That is just my opinion, but hey, that's what I'm here for. All right, what else is going on here? Am I overreacting being told I'm lucky to be with my husband? I know you're not going to understand this at all, but it's so crystal clear to me how lucky you are to have us. I honestly can't see any man that would finally get to your core and think it's a great deal they got. Luckily, I've known you for enough time where I love you anyway. Oh my God, that is an awful text message to receive. Reading between the lines here, I'm lucky to have you because no one else would want me and you love me anyway. That sounds fair. Let's see the background. We were talking and said something to me that he thought was fine. I said I was hurt by his comment and that it was disrespectful. He doubled down that it's not his fault that I'm hurt, rather than acknowledge my feelings. The fight has spiraled since then. Oh, so I get this text. Am I reading this right? I'm so lucky to have my husband and my 3 stepkids because no man who truly knew me would be with me. This feels really messed up, but maybe I'm overreacting. Unrelated, but somewhat relevant. My husband has been unemployed for 3 years. I work hard to support our entire family, including the vacation we're on right now. Oh my God, they're on vacation too. What is wrong with this guy? So they've had a fight, they're on vacation, and then he's messaged her, I know you're not going to understand this, but it's so crystal clear how lucky you are to have us. I'm assuming he means himself and the kids. I honestly can't see any man that would finally get to your core and think it's a great deal they got. That is diabolical. That is outrageous a thing to say. So he's saying, after someone gets to know you, there is no way that someone would stay with you. That is essentially what this guy has said to his partner. Let's see what people are saying here. Wow, not overreacting. That's some backhanded bullshit. That sounds straight from a narcissist's mouth. Obviously can't diagnose someone from a second-hand text message, but this sure is something a narc would say. Did he love bomb you in the beginning and then kept you off balance ever since as you try to please him? So he'll act like he did in the beginning? If so, that person doesn't exist and never did. Couple that with him being a deadbeat. Maybe it's time to cut your losses before more losses come. Excellent advice from Mike here. Sounds like he doesn't want you knowing your worth. He wouldn't want to have to start working to support his own kids, I'm sure. I hope his kids are at least nice to you and hope their goals in life are bigger than finding a significant other to latch onto and bleed like their father. Sorry for harshness, your story really pissed me off for you. This douche is even questioning your intelligence. With that, I know you're not going to understand this. Just wow. Thanks for the awards, kind Reddit folk. Oh, have an upvote, pal. This guy, Mike, is bang on here because this is absolute utter horseshit. This guy is like 100% like gaslighting her into thinking that she could never do better, probably because he is a deadbeat and unemployed. And this guy knows that if someone else was to try and get with him, he would never be able to hold a woman the same way that he's held this person. He's trying to devalue her worth and keep her in the relationship, would be my guess. Not that I'm an expert or anything, but that would just be my guess. All right, let's do one more. Am I overreacting? Can't seem to get over this. Okay, let's take a look at what this is. What pic are you talking about? Come on, one with a lot of redacted information. Wait, you are saying you still have it. Of course I do, it's a masterpiece. Are you being serious right now? You promise you'd delete it right after. My guess is that it's a nude. I just couldn't bring myself to delete it. You look too damn good in it. Oh my dears. I only sent it because you promised you'd delete it. This is a techie situation. I was already uncomfortable. I confirmed it like 10 times and now you tell me like this, casually, after weeks. You seriously mad over this? I've literally seen you in person. You have been something. The pic isn't even fully nude. It is basically nude. Don't play dumb. So it's not like you are not ready, so why don't you trust me? How do you expect me to trust you when you can't keep a simple promise? Jesus, all right, I forgot, okay. It's just one pic. You act like I posted it or something. Posted it online or something. I just hope you trust me. You don't get it. You should. Maybe it's a rational fear, but anything can happen and you know why I'm so scared of that. And then a minute 42 voice note is long. Shit. Okay, I'm sorry. Calm down. I'll delete it right now. You can see me do it. Check my phone yourself. I'll be there soon. 15 minutes max. Just come outside for 2 minutes. Just let me see you once. I love you. That's debatable. Okay, here we go. What is this chick said? I guess I just needed to talk about this somewhere. I've been dating so she's 17. The boyfriend's 21. Jesus. For almost a year. A few weeks ago, he was out of state for a campus gig with his band. It was actually at my dream college, so I was even more excited for him. While he was away, we were texting a lot, and one night he asked me to send him some pics. I was hesitant, not because I didn't trust him, but I've always felt uneasy about having those kinds of photos on anyone's phone, even mine. He understood and promised he'd delete them right after. I asked him to delete them multiple times, and he said he would. But now I found out he didn't. He mentioned it casually. He did delete them now, I think, but I can't stop cringing at myself. Did I really make a big deal out of nothing? I feel so unsettled for some reason. I know part of it is because I was raised in a really strict family, so I'm extra paranoid. I don't think he meant anything bad by it. I just don't know why this is still bothering me. Well, I can tell you why it's bothering you. It's because you told him to do something. He said he would, and he didn't. He lied to you. Quite significantly, I might add. Sending nudes is such a techie situation because realistically, if you send a nude to someone, there is a chance, even if you know the person, you've been dating them, you could be married to the person, there is a chance that someone could hack the phone, they could show someone, they send it to anyone else whatsoever, and that picture could be everywhere. And that is a very scary thing, especially as a 17-year-old. That is a really terrifying thing to have happen, I would say. Now, just the fact that her boyfriend is significantly older than her here, I would say that she probably feels pressured to do these sorts of things to keep him happy, especially if they're away for a while and if they're like long distance. I would say that it would be easy for her to feel pressured by this guy. And look, you can see here as well when he's like, Jesus, all right, I forgot, it's just one pic. And he said as well, I've literally seen you in person. The pic isn't even fully nude. That is such like a coping mechanism to like get her to be like, oh, you're right, it's not that bad. He's like trying to get her to agree with him and like push her down this road, because if she bends her will for this, what else can she bend her will for? Does that make sense? And then you can see at the end here, he drops the I love you right at the end. That is just such a crock of shit, man. That's like, oh, please do this for me. I love you. These people, like everyone is just an asshole these days by the looks of things. Am I overreacting? Absolutely not. You should probably break up with this man, would be my thing to say here. So yeah, this guy, huge walking red flag. Break up with him. Move on with your life. You're young. You've got so much time. You can do way better than some 21 dropkick who's trying to manipulate the shit out of you. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed all of these reactions. If you want to see more content like this in the future, please like, please subscribe, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. See you then.